Well, what's up, guys? It's Krystle Chats. This is the Healthy Gossip Podcast, and we are in the Comedy Pop-Up Studio in the luxurious suite here in Koreatown, doing the Thug Thizzle. And my co-host is back.
Oh,
What up, Alex?
what's going on, everyone? How are you?
On-air producer in the Thug Thizzle. And today, our guest of honor.
Oh, so honored. So honorable.
And this is Mr. Joe, and let me make sure I say it right. Welkie.
Yeah. How would
Joe
you fuck that up?
Welkie. Because so do you know who Peter Sayers is?
Yeah.
I've been friends with him for probably 8 years, and it's not Peter Sayers. It's Peter Sers.
His name is Peter Sers, right?
And to me, he's Peter Sayers. So,
Okay.
yeah. So just until it's like official, it's like Welkie. And of course, I've heard many people say your name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they could be saying it wrong. You know?
No,
So
yeah.
I go by Krystle Chats because of the butchering of my official
Of your actual last name?
Yeah. Everyone,
Are you at liberty to say your actual last name?
It's Muras, but it's to everyone else, it's Miras. Miras?
How do you spell it?
Muras.
That's easy.
Well, you think it's Murasi to everyone, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's definitely
They say Muras.
yeah. And then the straw that broke the camel's back, the thing that devastated me was being introduced at a comedy show, and I told her I was like, "Hey, just don't say I'm from Newport Beach because I'm not from Newport Beach because we're talking about Costa Mesa."
Yeah.
And she was just like, "Okay, sure." And she's like, "How do I say it?" And I said simply, "Moo like cow, Ross." Like fucking Ross dress for
Like
less,
dressing for
Ross,
less.
whatever, exactly. And she gets up and she's like, "Krystle, Muras. Oh, I knew I was gonna mess it up all the way from Newport Beach." I was
Dude.
like, "I'm from Texas." But anyway, so yeah, Joe Welkie. Okay, so
Wait, what made you go with Chats then?
my initial podcast is the Krystle Chats podcast.
Okay.
That's what the Healthy Gossip was before it was the Healthy Gossip, which basically had a lot of the same like layout and structure and chats. You know, it seems last name enough, or it could be like short for like Chatsworth or just chats
Yeah.
with like a different spelling. And I like it. It's catchy. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's just
A lot easier than Muraz.
exactly. What do you know the origin of your name? What are you? What is that? What kind of European is that?
Well, my name has been fucked up a bunch apparently. Like when we moved here from wherever the fuck, our name was originally like Vielki or Velecki or something like that, and then it was
Okay.
just some kind of like bastardization. It's Ukrainian, but I'm Ukrainian and Polish, so a lot of
Mine's
that.
Czech. So
Oh, look at that! I'm
Right.
Slovak as well.
I'm Czech Republic, I guess now,
Yeah.
and I know ours has been changed too, because
Yeah.
there has never been a Czech person my whole life that has been like Czech.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure it was like Moratske or some crazy thing before it was.
Yeah, when you hear Welkie, you're not like, oh, that's blah blah blah. Like if you hear like a
Right.
ski at the end, these people are like, all right, I guess just whatever.
Is Khan your real last name, Khan?
Yeah,
That's sick.
it's
Nice, dude.
it's the Irish version, not
Okay.
the KH, but the CO. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Con meets Con. I remember
meets
that.
Con,
That was
yes.
a fun episode.
right.
My best friend's last name is Khan, but the Pakistani kind.
But spelled like Genghis.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, Zazara?
No, it's Henna.
Oh, okay.
But she is cousins with Zara Ali, not Zara Khan. Yeah.
All right, we
Okay.
go
Yeah, all right.
too much.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. All right. That's our episode today, guys. Where are you from? Thank you very much. So no, let's talk about you for a little bit, sir. Like
All
you're
right.
you're an interesting
Uh-oh.
breed. So like let's talk about your talents outside of comedy.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Like your acrobat, like
Oh,
what you
yeah,
do,
yeah,
like
yeah.
your dancing, and so I do you want to go ahead and stand up and show everyone like your six pack? I would really appreciate it if you would. He's probably the most shredded guest I've had
Fuck yeah.
on the podcast.
Wait,
honor.
not Seth. Seth is shredded, dude.
Is that
No,
Lawrence?
I'm kidding.
I was
I'm
like,
kidding.
I was like, is he? I was like, is that something that I don't know?
That would be hilarious. Either way, so show him your
Are
six
you
pack.
gonna show us?
Am I gonna stand up and do
Yeah,
this?
absolutely.
Oh,
Come
Jesus.
on,
Oh, man.
bro. Like you. So
I'm gonna
this
be honest.
guy,
I feel bad for you having to do it.
This
know,
guy,
right?
no, okay. He took a picture of me back in the day when I was posting a bunch of,
Wait,
not
where am I
of me,
going?
just right
Where
here.
am I
Right, the camera's right here. Look at
Oh,
that!
shit.
Wow, look at that chest too.
Body.
Wow,
everybody.
That looks just as good in this lighting. You know how some people are like, oh, the
Oh, yeah.
lighting. Ooh, no, that's definitely gonna
Yeah,
show
abs
up.
are like 95% lighting.
But that looks great.
Well.
Okay, so
I have
let-
Joe
let's-
Welkie.
yes, and we'll plug some stuff at the end.
Oh, yeah.
But yes,
Yeah, we
spell
will.
your last name.
Welkie.
Thank you. Okay, so now.
But yeah, our dueling posts.
Oh,
or
oh, right.
My,
yeah. I just had this picture. I was in the bathroom and I had my boobs covered up with my hands, and I'm sure I have it. I'll look for it in a little bit, maybe show everybody. And then he was in his little undies, and he just basically recreated the image. And
yeah, did a split screen with her
Beautiful.
image.
And it was
in
a
my
great
undies.
picture.
Yeah, I was. I think I was doing Amazing Comedy Theater that weekend.
Okay.
And I think that you were too. And I was like, oh, well, we're going to be on the same show or
Right.
whatever. And I was like, oh, come see us both. And I think I did one with Lydia
Right.
as well.
Uh-huh.
Lydia Shahid. And she was also on the show or something. It was something
Yeah.
to do with Amazing Comedy Theater.
Shout out to Amazing Comedy Theater.
Yeah.
Have you done it yet?
No.
Still? Okay.
Dude,
Still
that
have
place
it.
is like very selective with like who they have there, and they have like a roster of 30 comics or something, and they only book those people. Like I've tried to get other people, be like, hey, here are like two of my friends, here are their tapes. If you want to book them, like they're really great comics, and they just never get booked there. So I don't know what the plan is.
I
there.
think what he would rather do is when people actually go, maybe like show up to the mic or to do the sign up, and then he judges for himself. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of his style. I know that's how I know initially.
What kind of comedy does he like?
I know he doesn't want it to be ultra offensive, because I know he's definitely had some
Yeah, he's
mutual friends of ours, like somebody who has been on the podcast for specifically, has gotten some grief for.
Is not allowed back?
yeah. There have been some people that are like not allowed back.
That sounds fun. I want to be on that list of people.
Yeah. So how did all of this? What started the fitness thing? Like, what did you do growing up? Like, what as a kid? What was it? Was it just
Oh, dude, what I-
jungle gym all the way into like?
Well, when I was a kid, I was like always very, very skinny. Like I was like in high school, I was the same height, and I weighed like 50 pounds less. So I was like 6'4", 150, 160 or something like that, and I was always like so skinny, and everyone was always kind of trashing me about it. And then so when I got to college, I was dating a girl, and she said something while we were hooking up about how like the last guy that she was hooking up with was hotter than me because he was like muscly. And I was like, oh, that fucking
I'll show you.
sucks. Yeah. So then she went abroad to Israel for a year, and in that time I was like, I'm gonna get fucking jacked. And
You did it.
I did, and then she got back and she was like, "Oh, you look weird now." It's just like great.
Been hanging out with all those Jews. She's like, no, I like them tall and gangly now.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
no.
Then she got back and she started hooking up with like I was in this sketch comedy group and we had like big brothers and big sisters or something. When she got back, she started hooking up with my big brother that was in the sketch comedy group, and I was like,
What
"Oh,
a
dope!
hoe.
Oh, dope! Cool."
Ah.
Yeah, but you know,
What did his abs look like?
he had pretty good abs.
Was he funny?
Yeah, he's funny.
All right.
His
Abs
voice-
and
his
humor.
voice
Like
came up a little
I
bit.
get it.
Yeah, no,
I
that
get it. He
means-
was also Jewish, and she's like super
Okay.
Jewish, so it made sense.
And you're not Jewish?
No.
Okay. At all. Okay. Just I don't know. Maybe I was like, who knows?
Welkiestein. That's a
Yeah, there you go.
Welkstein. That's where it's shortened from.
I stopped guessing because there's been people now, especially
It's a good call too.
right. Because when
Are you a Jew?
are you a Jew? Are you Jew? Tell me. So okay. So how old are you when that was? You said high school.
Oh, that was like
what?
college, probably when I was
College?
19, 20 years old. Yeah.
Okay. Was that girl your first love or something?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like super about her, I think that she also just like
Did you lose your virginity to her?
no.
Okay.
That was in high school, but that was a girl that was like, oh, I just want to get this out of the way kind of thing.
Sure.
And we were dating, and then I just don't really count that as like a
Did you have sex with her more than once?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were dating. Like, we went to a prom together or something, but
Okay. I feel like sometimes people, if it's like one of those like got it out of the way things, a lot of times it's just somebody that they've hooked up with one time.
It's a one and a done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that have, like, hooked up with and lost their virginities, like, hookers and strippers and stuff, where it's just like, let's just get this out of the,
Yeah.
just get it done. And
Have you danced?
Danced what?
Like, have you been a male dancer before?
No.
Okay.
I just started doing pole
Okay.
as, like, an aerial thing.
Okay.
I would love to do that, though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, why don't you? You definitely could.
I'm not very flexible.
Have you been to West Hollywood, like Santa Monica Boulevard?
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could totally
You
do
would
that
crush.
shit. Dude, I went to one place and it wasn't even like they were dancing.
That's
it was
what I'm
like
saying. They
bullshit.
do this.
Yeah, it was bullshit. I saw one guy. I was at this bar. It was called Foo Bar, and it was a dude, and he was on a pole, and he had a glass of water with him, and he kept like, he had underwear on. He kept like dipping his junk into the glass of water, and then and then like humping it, and it was like splashing people.
This was in West Hollywood?
Oh yeah.
No.
Fubar is the most aggressive name I've ever heard.
His real dick was out?
No. It was in
Oh.
underwear.
Oh, okay.
But you could see like his
But you know how
his
that
shit.
underwear is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it was just like grimy. It was,
Fubar is the best name for a gay bar. Do you know what Fubar means?
No.
It's like an old military term for fucked up beyond all recognition.
yeah.
So like if you bomb the shit out of a village, it's Fubar.
Yeah, dude.
That's kind of like what a West Hollywood butthole looks like after after a night of dipping your dick in water.
And then walking down the back alley.
Well, dude, that bar like isn't even nice. It's like a dive bar.
Well, that's why they have that kind of.
exactly.
That's why there's guys.
Well, then, like the thing was,
Have you been to the Abbey?
I've been to the Abbey, but like at Foo Bar, I was like, these guys aren't even hot. Like they weren't ripped or anything. I was like, I shouldn't be the most ripped person here.
Yeah.
If
You
this
know
is
they
like
have
a gay bar.
women's strip clubs like that too, right?
Oh,
Like-
dude, yeah. There's.
Yeah,
I've never
but
been
that's
to-
not. But strip clubs for men are not about like like uglier strippers are better because guys think they can actually fuck them. Like the hottest stripper in the room, no one gets to take that girl home. But the girl with the the girl who just gave birth,
Yeah,
you're
the
like, oh
C-section
yeah, I could pay her very little. I have enough money in my pocket to hook up with her. That's like.
Wow. Is that what?
So maybe
guys
that's what
go
Foo
in
Bar's going for. They're
thinking?
like,
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
exactly.
I
we're
don't
not
know.
good. We're just available.
But I've never been to a strip club where it's been like ultra hot women. Like it's always like
you gotta go to
kinda
Vegas.
Vegas.
I'm from Vegas.
Uh-huh.
That it's just like actually, you know what's funny now
Sapphire.
is most of the hottest girls in Vegas actually work at pools and they serve drinks in bathing suits.
Exactly.
And they make way more money. Like
Well,
you'd
the hot-
rather do that now.
The
But
hottest person in a strip club is always the bartender who's not stripping.
it's the one you
For the
can't have.
waitresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are some beautiful. They're probably foreigners, most of them, but there are definitely some beautiful strippers in Vegas.
Nah, they're not all foreigners.
I know they're not all.
That's not Vegas stock. We grow them good out there. All right.
He's from Vegas.
I'm from
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's what we do. Vegas, we do. We build strippers there. That's what we do.
Yeah. I would love to do it though. Love to strip.
You'd
Or
like
just-
to strip
I would love
like
to do
Magic
that.
Mike, like a male review, or would you want to
Yes,
like
that'd
Foo
be
Bar?
awesome. No, not like Foo Bar. I'd want to do like. You ever been to like Jumbo's Clown Room?
Yeah.
I would want.
Well,
do
I haven't
some
been,
shit
but
like
I
that.
know what it. Like, it's like artistic.
Yeah, it's like,
I've been dying to go there.
dude, let's go.
amazing, yeah.
It's like they're doing pole tricks and they're like stripping, but not really.
It's almost like
stripping.
burlesque. Like
Yeah, but it's impressive.
yeah.
I've
Like,
heard of
there's-
it. I know what it is.
I've been to some brutal burlesque shows, man.
Yeah,
like, where they're
yeah.
just like.
You mean open mics? Every open micer knows burlesque open micers, where you're like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, man. There's some
How's that
bad.
going?
I've been to some very good ones, and I've dated a bunch of burlesque people that are good. But like, I've been to some of their shows, and some of the other acts on the shows. It's just like, what are you? This
What's
is
going
nothing.
on?
This is nothing.
Mhm.
You know, it's a
Oh,
pain.
And tell us what the name of your podcast is.
The name of my podcast is the Dating is Hard podcast.
Because he's been dating burlesque dancers.
So you're
and-
straight.
Yes.
Okay, because you said burlesque people, and I was like, oh, he's hanging out at Foo Bar. So
Oh, yeah, no, I'm straight.
okay. Can you talk about? Hey, man, you never know.
Yeah, it makes
Are
sense.
you a gay Jew?
You got
gay
you got
Jew?
really good at those are gay abs. Those are the gayest abs
I
I've
think
seen
God
today.
meant for you to be a Jew gay.
Yeah. Well, I also do like so much gay stuff that it's like a lot of people think I'm gay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Like I do the aerialist stuff and I do pole dance.
Yeah,
Stuff.
I
like
could see how that could throw someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. My gaydar didn't go off, and I've definitely had.
Mine didn't either. That's why I was asking.
Well, I
'cause
mean,
was-
I've met
Okay.
you guys not in that forum. Like in that forum, everyone's just like, "Oh, here's another gay guy,"
Oh.
and then I start
Right.
talking, and I'm
Another
like,
dude
"What's
with-
up, bro?"
another dude with his dick in the water in a glass of water.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, I met you before you even knew
right.
any of that kind of stuff that I was
Right,
doing, so you had a previous knowledge
Exactly.
of that.
Right.
But
I
if you
had
just
no
scrolled
idea.
through my Instagram,
Absolutely. It's
definitely
very,
think I'm
very good point. Very good point. But okay. Well, so in that setting, do you have people that ask you, like, just straight up to your face, like, "Hey, are you into?"
Oh yeah. I mean,
Okay. Like, do the men come up to you and are like,
lot
You
of
like to
people-
get Foo Bar?
a lot of people definitely think I'm gay, and there's a lot of
Okay.
gay people. Like I'm one of the only straight people at my circus aerialist school.
Where is that?
What's it
The
called?
fuck do you
It's
even
called
look
Cirque
up?
School.
Okay.
It's on Hollywood Boulevard. It's like right around. It's like Hollywood and Wilton.
Is it a
right.
monthly membership, or is it a contract? Like, how do
It's
people
like you
go
get
about joining
packages
that?
of classes. So you get
Okay.
like 6 classes for X amount of dollars, and there's a Groupon for it if you want to fucking try it.
Try it out.
If you want to give it a go.
How much is the Groupon? Do you know?
When I got it, it was like $40, and you
Oh,
got
sick.
I think it was like 3 to 5 classes or something like that.
Okay,
But
that's cool.
it's-
That's great.
It's dope. And like I started doing that. It's like I got really bored with like lifting all the time, and it was just like so repetitive. And we're performers, and I love performing and doing all kinds of shit like that. So that was a mix of performing and athleticism that I was like, oh, this is like perfect. And you can do funny shit with it, and you can do serious stuff with it, and make something beautiful. And that's the other thing that, like, all my coaches are always like, you should put like an act together and make it like a funny act. It's like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to do like I'm funny in my comedy life. Like, I want to do something separate that's not having to do with that
Like
at
yoga.
all. Yeah. I want to do something like beautiful / sexy / I don't know.
Well, I can be more than one thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
Yeah, it's why does it have to be?
Exactly.
I play guitar and people keep telling me like you got to do musical comedy, and I'm like, I take music too seriously to do like. Yeah. I don't. Why can't I be multiple things?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You get it.
You got to be what's the Donald Glover? You want to be Donald Glover? You gotta.
Yeah,
you want to
but-
be. You want to be multifaceted. You
Exactly.
Wanna,
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
impossible. People can have multiple talents.
Well, it's like my trapeze teacher. He always does like comedy acts, and they're always really funny. And so when he saw that I do comedy, he was like, "Oh, we should like work on a comedy act for you." And I was like, "I don't want to do a comedy act. Like that's not what I'm here for."
Yeah,
like,
if I want to make people laugh, I just stand on stage and do it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm a good enough comedian. I don't need to like do a bunch of like crazy trapeze shit in order to make people laugh.
So how many years has it been for you? 12 years of comedy?
Yeah. In February, it'll be 12 years,
Sick.
which is like embarrassing.
You've been in LA the whole time?
No. I started when I was 18 in college, so I was around like the DC, Baltimore area.
Okay, cool.
I'm originally from Baltimore.
It's a good scene, yeah. DC Improv has a
man.
yeah.
There's
it's
a
good
lot
scene.
of fucking really heavy hitters that come from DC and
Yeah.
Baltimore. And then I moved to New York for 5 years after I graduated college, and then I moved here about.
And you hit it the whole time in New York?
Uh huh.
Sick.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably less hitting it in Baltimore, DC, because I was doing like sketch and I was in college and all that shit. But then right after college, I moved to New York for 5 years.
What job did you have out there?
Well, first I was a waiter, and then I was a writer for a bunch of different websites.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Yeah, doing like viral articles and stuff.
Like search engine type stuff like that? Or okay,
yeah.
cool.
And
Wait, what did you go to college for?
I double majored in communication and social psychology.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Fucking educated, I'm ripped, I'm funny. Just everything.
You are funny. I will
Thank
definitely
you.
have to give you that. And
Appreciate
don't,
that.
Don't do any of that like embarrassing thing. No, you're good, and like just you're right there. So
Yeah,
So I do want to talk. Go ahead.
Oh, it's embarrassing to say that I've been doing it for 12 years because I'm not successful in any way possible.
You're almost there, man. Just keep going. Don't stop.
There is no there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
yeah.
there for us?
Well, we
'Cause think
we
about
talked
this.
about it. It's just being able to kind of make a living.
Well,
off
yeah, I
of
mean,
it,
yeah,
you
that
know?
was, yeah, Zach had but also, I mean, the people look at the number of people that are where you would call there that fucking off themselves. Like, what is
Yeah.
even there? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's true, man.
it's enjoying the journey.
Right. You just wait the whole time to get there, and then you're there, and you're just like, this is it. I hate everybody.
I don't know. Do you guys ever struggle with like this is something that I've been like that's been bugging me out recently? Is do you ever see like a piece of art or like comedy or something like that that is just so you appreciate it so much and you love it so much that it makes you so depressed that it's like I can never create something like that?
No. I
Hell
know
no.
it. So that's called imposter syndrome. And one thing I like to point out is to be a good comedian. Like have you ever heard of what the term tastemaker is? There's a tastemaker.
I don't think so.
So, like, think about an aggregator page, like that posts a bunch of different, like, whatever food. I'm sure you follow vegan pages, right?
Of course.
They
Oh,
post
you're
a bunch
vegan?
I'm plant based.
Okay.
and they post like a bunch of like, oh, this is a fancy picture of this dish, and those are like what you could call a tastemaker. People who can look at things, who understand what is good. So for a lot of artists, you understand good art, you're just not there yet.
Yeah.
And that only means that you are more self-aware. Like I understand why you say that, but
Well, I thought that imposter syndrome was more about like I'm successful, but I don't feel like I should be because I'm a fraud. My thing is more like I see other people doing.
you compare yourself.
Comparing and being like I don't have the capacity to create something.
But that's
like
the thing is to say you don't have the capacity is like if your Jewish girlfriend probably said that you didn't have the capacity to have abs either. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you don't know what you have the capacity to do. You know, so I would
then-
just say. Like, I think we all feel that way, but I also think that that's like, if you are actually going to be good, if you can actually see the difference in good and bad,
Yeah.
you can look at the good and go, fuck, I'll never get that good.
Wait,
but
to
you can.
clarify though, you don't get that when you see like a special, like a comedy special, do you?
I got that when you know Sean Patton? the
Sean
comedian?
Patton is
I
the
saw-
hardest I've ever laughed, ever.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the hardest I've ever seen anyone kill was at this comedy festival I did in North Carolina. And I was just watching him. I'm like, I can't, like, I understand that we have different styles of comedy.
Yeah.
Like, my style of comedy doesn't lend itself to, like, his chaotic and frenetic, just,
Yeah.
like, crushing. And that's
Well-
the hardest I've ever seen anyone crush. And I just saw that and I was like, I'll never
How long
be
ago
able
did you see
to
that?
do that. That was like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and he's only kept going. But
Yeah, man.
I mean,
See, the way I look at it too is like you don't know because first of all, there's a huge chance that his fans like you if you have two totally separate styles of comedy, like if you had a room full of people who were there to see you as being your fan, you could
That's true.
very much so crush that hard in just a different style.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted to be clear of, like that you're talking about
So,
comedy and you're not looking at like Picasso.
Oh, no, I'm looking at other things, too. Like music
interesting.
and, like...
oh yeah, I understand that with
It's-
music
yeah.
entirely. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like listening to a song and you're like, fuck, I don't have whatever it is in me. And I know that there are probably other people, like I was talking with somebody about this recently, this same theory about how like I'll look at a piece of music and be like, oh my God, I could never create that. Like that's so amazing. But at the same token, that person would probably look at comedians and be
Yeah.
like, I could never go on stage and just talk.
See, I don't look at it and think I could never do that. Like I think I never want to release anything that I have until I feel like it's that polished or that like beautiful or I'm that confident in it. You know, like that's my whole thing. Like,
Yeah, but that's a little silly too because like look at Jessica Curson has a special coming out that Bill Burr is producing. If you know who she is, she came up with Dave Attell in New York. She's been I think Bill Burr's quote was she should have had a special 2 presidents ago. And that's a very and
Yeah,
and
she's a killer.
and she's an absolute like levels every room she goes into. People sleep on her and she's a monster. And yeah, you could sit here and go, oh, I don't want to do it until I can release it at that level. You also don't understand the struggles that person had to go to. Like, that
Right.
person was trying to release their shit long before they were at that level. You know what I mean? Like, you're seeing Chappelle do, Bird Revelations. I mean, sure, Killing Him Softly was also great, but at some point, Chappelle wasn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
there's at some point, they were, I mean, granted, Jessica Kirson might have been as good as you are at comedy when she was 3 months in. Maybe she's a fucking prodigy, but at some point, she was as good as you are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I liked hearing Joey Diaz did his the Hot Ones.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He said that, and he was like, "Man, that's a cool story because he was in jail."
He's a great example of someone who's never had like the right thing get on tape. I've seen him film specials, and he didn't release them just because it's just you have to be. There's something about it, you know.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing with like Sean Patton.
Yeah.
He like notoriously would have like kind of meh Conan sets where people just don't. It's like you need to be there in the room because he has so much energy and it travels around and it's just like amazing that it doesn't translate to
TV.
watching it on TV or something.
He did so I saw Ari Shaffir's Storyteller show in Denver live, and he did the story that he's actually released on Comedy Central, and seeing it live, it was a 20-minute long story.
I'm gay as fuck.
No, it's the one about the old guy who pulled his dick out in front of or pulled his balls out, but only his balls.
Okay.
That story. It was I've watched it, that I've shown people like, oh, this is the story. This is the hardest I've ever laughed was this piece of material, and watching it just doesn't, add up to being in the and that's honestly something special about comedy too. I mean, he's also that's like him too. I mean, that's a Sean Patton quality.
I think I've told this story about like you've never done Bert's Backroom, right?
I've done it like twice.
Okay, so there was a guy in there who, like, if you go there regularly, you see the same people, and you can really tell if they're funny.
Yeah.
And it was, I saw his bit get one of his bits that made me go, I'm a fan of this guy. It got posted on the Laugh Factory Instagram page, and it wasn't the right delivery. And so he was kind of getting, like, dragged in the comments, and I just wanted to be like, no, he's really funny. I promise I've seen this bit right before. It's good. So you just never know.
But they do that on purpose too. I mean, they specifically post. They want people to talk. They want people to comment more than they want people to enjoy.
They want to engage.
Well, they did have his back
Yeah.
because they posted him close, like two of his things like close to each other. Where the next one was really good. So good for him.
I have a
He got
question.
two.
What is the art that you look at that you think I could never do that other than comedy? What is the thing for you? Like if you could be, like for me, it would be like folk musician. Krystle, what's yours?
Folk musician?
Yeah, like if I could master an art, I personally believe that an artistic person can master really anything. It's just a matter of, am I going to put 20 of my 24 hours a day toward that thing, right?
Yeah.
What would your other thing be? If you weren't doing comedy, what would it be? You too, Krystle.
Mine actually is a musician, but like to be able to just sing while I play the piano. And I've literally had a piano in my studio apartments for like the past, I don't know, X amount of years. And because that was always my other little, I'm going to practice, because I played when I was little.
Yeah.
And so it would be able to
Is it that you can't sing while you're playing the piano? Like you can
I just
sing.
don't practice.
Okay.
Everyone can. It's just teaching your brain to work that way. I used to think I couldn't sing and play, and then you teach your brain to do it. What's yours?
Yeah, well, I used to be able to. Like, I was in a band, and I used to be able to sing and play, and now I just lost it because I haven't been practicing it as much. But yeah, I mean, I would love to be like a musician. Like, I have such great respect, and it's just so amazing when people can create something like that. But recently, the thing that like sent me down this spiral is there's this anime that I really enjoy, and I was watching it, and I was just like, this is just such.
What is it?
It's called Steins Gate. Have you ever heard?
No, I'm not. But...
You ever watch it? It's about this guy who accidentally creates a time machine.
Oh, okay.
And then it like a whole bunch of stuff gets fucked up, and he has to like figure it all out.
And that's the piece of art that's got you thinking,
It's got me so bummed because it's so
like I can never create something that beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and the story is so intricate and amazing. And like I have the same kind of feeling. Have you ever watched Death Note?
I haven't. I'm not a huge anime guy, but I'm familiar with some of the big ones. I've lived with anime guys. I have seen What's the one that everyone likes with the giant people that bite people's heads off? What's the
Oh, Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan? Like I've seen Attack on
Yeah,
Titan.
yeah, yeah.
And I've
That one's
seen-
pretty good.
Yeah.
But like that one never like. I never watched anime until I moved here, and I was writing I was editing articles for this one website, and they had like an anime specific side of the site, and I was reading all the stuff, like the synopsis from anime, and I was like, oh shit, this sounds like pretty dope. Like these sound pretty interesting stories, and it's like stuff that I've never seen in American television or in movies. So then I started watching it, and I was like, oh fuck, like this is.
It's a very playful space, which is
Yeah.
funny because like illustration is super expensive.
Yeah, man. And
Yeah.
it's heady. Like so much of them are like heady as shit, and like that's what I appreciate so much about it. And it's like I don't have that. I'm sure once if I started like writing a bunch of scripts and all that shit.
Well, don't you also agree with the fact that like you shouldn't be creating that many, for lack of better words, like genius masterpieces because you would be spreading yourself too thin. Like, you know, do you want to be a master at comedy and then a master at music and then a
Exactly.
master?
I mean, well, that's
because you could be too, but you're what 30 years old, if that. Like, yeah,
29.
I mean, dude,
12 plus 18.
college educated,
Well, I turned 30
shredded. He's
next
a
month.
comic. Sorry. No. I was asking just because for me, it's like folk music and bluegrass music that's the art that I consume. I don't consume comedy. I create it. I don't consume there are 5 comics that I watch on a regular basis. I'm just curious what the art is that you look at and go, fuck, I wish
I've never met anyone.
Is your comedy heady?
I don't even like to think about it that. Like, it's.
Do you wish it was? Like, do you want to be? Is that what you admire about it, or?
I mean, like my favorite comics are like Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neill, and like I love that style of comedy where you say something controversial and kind of dig yourself a hole, and then you have to funny your way out of it.
Yeah.
So I try my best to do that. Obviously, I'm not like anywhere near that level, but
He's
that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I've seen him before. I mean, I know he's good. It's just I'm just
But
we're all motivated by an art, and I think it's important to not pursue an art. It's important to consume an art too. Like to be so in love with something that you can't do is very humbling too, because you're like
well,
fuck.
That's the thing that's been depressing me the most recently. So this has gotten like to be like a therapy thing. This isn't healthy gossip. This is like mental health gossip.
Yeah, no, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna ask you about STDs in about 10 minutes.
Oh fuck yeah!
No, I'm kidding.
Hell yeah, dude. But it's just there isn't enough time for me to do all the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
It just sucks. It's such a. It like.
Is there anything
really,
you're willing to give up, or is what you're doing
well,
what
that's
you're
the thing, is,
doing?
like,
And
I have so many things that I want to do, and there's other things that I want to pursue, and I just can't. You know.
Yeah.
I wish that I wouldn't have to sleep because I would be dope. Like that'd be a lot better. Like sleep is such a waste of time, and I hate it. And I hate that we have to do it. But you'll die if you don't.
Exactly. Cool. Well, okay. So then we can change the subject a little bit.
Yeah, sorry for taking everybody down like a depression rabbit
it's-
hole.
no.
It's the healthy gossip.
Hearing how like motivated you are by another art form, I think it's beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
It
Alex.
is, absolutely. Man, thanks for opening up.
Oh, thanks, Krystle.
I want to get back to the shallow stuff though.
Sure, let's do it.
She wants to take your shirt off.
Yeah. No, I do. I want to talk a little bit about like your macros and stuff and like
See that
what-
square bottle of water? Put your dick in that bottle of water.
Yeah.
Dip your balls in that bottle of water.
Can I pour this
that's
on your dick?
So weird. I've never seen a squirt. What is
It
that?
fits perfectly into my purse. It's just another little.
It
one of
looks
those
like a-
reusable water
It
bottles.
looks like a flask
A5
yeah,
that
it's
you'd
like
hydrate
a water
yourself
flask.
from.
Yeah.
Well, I
Does
gotta
it fit in a
have
purse?
My vodka. Yeah. Do you want me to show you?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll
It
just
fits
believe
perfectly
you.
into that square purse.
That's a
right
good
there.
idea. I mean, when you held it that way, I was like, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. What were
Macros. Like what is your? Do you drink alcohol
No, I've never drank or smoked or done any drugs ever.
your whole life?
Yeah.
Not a sip, not a puff.
Nope. Which is weird because I always
Religious reasons?
No, if I just never did it. I'm not interested. I don't like get it. I don't see the benefit in it. But it's funny because like whenever I'm in a movie or like somebody like wrote a part for me or some shit, it's always I'm a stoner or I'm a drunk or a drug dealer or something. So it's like I don't know what kind of vibes I'm putting out there, but apparently stoner vibes.
What's the reason?
I just never did.
Cool. And there was no one in your life that inspired that, or
No, it's to me, it's such a waste of money, and like I spend my money on a bunch of other things, and I don't know. I weighed the costs and the benefits of it, and I was just like, I don't get it. And then there's like, it's weird to me when people are like, we gotta do it. You have to. Like in high school, I would hang out with people, and they were like, yeah, let's go to this party, and it's like, okay, well, and then they'd be like, well, you gotta drink. It's like I don't have to drink. Like,
No.
it's fine. And they're like, no, you gotta. And then so there was a little bit of like that contrarian part of me that was like, fuck you, I don't have to do anything. I don't like people telling me what to do. And then when that was happening, I was like, yeah, fuck that. And also, I have a sweet tooth, and I think that a lot of alcohol probably doesn't taste very well based off of the smell and what I hear from people.
well, there's definitely some that taste great.
Oh, I'm very
But then
sure.
there's also some that taste like, I don't know if a homeless person would drink it, So
Isn't it kind of weird that the stuff that tastes like a homeless person wouldn't drink is usually the stuff that leaves you
should be
feeling better?
drinking. Exactly.
If it tastes
No,
good,
straight up.
your gut. It's gonna suck
Like
tomorrow.
the
Yeah.
best thing that you could probably drink is just like vodka water.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So you sugar? That's your thing.
Yeah, like
That's my thing.
yeah,
I have
I
trouble.
fuck with sugar. Like I
Yeah.
eat fruit nonstop. Like that's my thing.
I get
eat-
high and eat donuts.
Ooh.
I have a.
I mean, I love donuts, but I'm trying to do fucking that glazed in review hard, super hard,
Yeah.
because I love donuts.
Shout
but
out to Glaze Interviewed.
yeah, glazed in review podcast is great.
Well, it's not a podcast.
What is
it's
it?
a
not?
I don't even know what
It's a
this
show?
is.
It's just
It's a
a
blog.
donut review show. Shout out to Sean Malavi.
Yeah.
And wait, no, I just think it's ironic that this is my second never touched alcohol or any drug guest in a row.
Who?
Okay, Seth Lawrence. But his is
His is
religious.
religion.
Oh yeah, I mean, like everybody that I know that also doesn't do it is religious,
Mm-hmm.
and then so I get the assumption.
Dalia talks about that. He has a full bit about how people say like never and like nope, ever, still nope, not even once or 0 times. Yep, not even once. 0's less than 1. Like
Yeah.
But he talks about the same thing. It's just never a call to it.
Well,
Do you have
for-
any
for
addiction
some
in your
people,
family?
yeah, right. Like I think
Yeah,
his
no.
reason is because of his family, right?
Oh, not that. I mean, that's not what he says. He says he just never. I mean,
Because I know a couple of people are. It's called dry when you're not like AA sober,
Oh,
and
dry
it's because
alcoholic, yeah.
they have parents that
Yeah.
are sober now and would literally die.
Yeah,
'cause of
no, I mean,
their-
I don't have anything like that with my family where they're addicts or anything.
yeah, good
It's
for
just-
you.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't.
and
you know.
your brain is like your memory is probably still
Oh yeah, it's
super incredible.
Dude, my memory creeps people out because they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember you and you said this and blah blah blah." And
I'm
they're like,
creeped out right
"Fuck."
now.
I know. I'm like, I'm gonna text you later and be like, "Hey, minute
I have
28 of the podcast, bro. What were we talking about again?" And he'll be like,
I have friends who've like quit smoking weed, and like after a month, their brain is like back to and they're like, dude, it's like, and
Yeah.
memory is my downfall on stage always. And I'm like, fuck, I should probably just
Oh man,
probably just quit smoking, but oh well.
Well, I also I have addictions outside of that. Like I shop like crazy. I'm a shop.
yeah.
Like I have so many pairs of shoes, and I'm like constantly buying clothes and stuff. And I'm on that game. And then like I'll just get obsessed about certain things where it's like I need to get. This
You
thing.
have a very obsessive personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like if I'm about to buy, so I bought a guitar recently.
Yeah.
And I had to like research.
What'd you get? Can I
Well,
ask?
I have some of my favorite bands are like they use a bass, but they play it like a guitar.
Okay.
So I had to get like octave pedals. And I had
Okay.
to
What are you talking like
research-
Royal Blood or?
Yeah, I
okay,
love Royal
cool,
Blood, like
all right.
Death from Above.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
Right.
I got like research all these octave pedals and fuzz pedals in order to get the sound, and then I got this like Fender Mustang bass.
All right.
So I was like really about doing all that and finding out what was best. And the same thing with like I got a camera. I did the same thing to like film sketches and stuff like that.
Like I gotta know all of it.
yeah. I get really into that shit. Like
Well, at least you have that brain to be able to remember how to do all that
I
stuff.
know,
You
man.
know?
It's crazy. Like and then like it's just like every 3 months I have a new thing.
A new addiction.
Yeah, so it's like I got a keyboard and I was making a bunch of like electronic music for a while, and that's kind of burnt out now. I got a bunch of photography stuff. I have a setup in my studio. I did my podcast. That I research all of the shit that I needed to get and how to do it. So I get really into things, and that's probably a good thing that I don't drink or do any drugs, because I'd go fucking head first into it and just not
Boom.
come out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I remember one of the things that I was just really pissed off that no one ever told me when I was younger is that just a lot of us who started drinking too young, our brains weren't fully developed.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that's the cool thing about people who've never done it at all is that you've literally let your brain
Breathe.
go all the way to the capacity, and obviously still now just keeping it healthy.
It's starting to deteriorate after
But-
27.
Well, right, because we still haven't gotten to these macros yet.
Oh yeah.
So like, yeah. So what do you do when you wake up in the morning? What's that breakfast looking like? Do you intermittent fast?
No, I pretty much just eat. Like I said, I've always been really skinny. I've
Oh,
never.
you're one of those?
Yeah, I am also eat healthy because that's
Yeah,
just what
you
I
just said
enjoy.
you slam fruit all day.
Yeah, it's what I enjoy. So first thing I do, like for breakfast, I make like a shake with I hate vegetables and like green leaves and stuff.
So you put it in your smoothie.
Yeah, put it in a smoothie with blueberries and blackberries and a little scoop of fucking chocolate protein, because
What brand do you use?
bro, I don't know. My roommate, he had something left over that he just gave me, so I
nice.
was like, whatever.
Okay.
I think it's called Syntha 6.
Synth 6 BSN.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what it is?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Synth
the people that
6.
make like No Explode.
Yeah,
Same
it's the-
people.
yeah.
It's BSN.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
can tell he's kind of shredded sitting over
No.
there.
Oh, yeah, he's
I had
jacked
I had a
as fuck. Look
day.
at those arms,
I had a
baby.
day. I had a day where.
No,
I
dude,
was
your
into-
forearms are fucking good.
Yeah,
That's some
that's-
good forearms.
Yeah.
He takes it easy though. He's an old man. He had a stroke.
Grip strength.
You had
yeah.
a stroke?
I had a stroke in jiu-jitsu class last year. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How
so,
old are you?
I had it at 26. I'm 27.
Damn,
Freak
dude.
accident. Freak accident. Just
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So-
see, jujitsu, that's another thing that I would love
That's
to get into.
that's an obsession thing. That's why I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, because like even now I can't train because of that, and it's obsessive.
Dude,
Disgusting.
That's one of the things where I'm like, I wish I had more time because I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Because I did it for a little bit and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't have enough money or time. I'd have to like sacrifice a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like even with the aerialist shit that I do, I'm sacrificing nights of comedy to do that.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy doing it.
You gotta
It's one of those where you're like, man,
you have to have something.
If
else.
I was rich and had full in free days and just could overachieve and yeah.
Yeah, man. Jiu-jitsu, that's
do you guys,
so dope.
Do you guys know who Ty Lopez is?
Yeah.
Comedian?
No.
No, he's like a fucking social media influencer. He's that guy. You remember ads on like YouTube? He'd always be
Yes.
like, "Hey, you want
Oh,
to?"
I'm next to my Ferrari. That
exactly.
guy.
Yeah. With the glasses. Yeah.
One of these dudes that just figured out a way to make, I don't know, 1 million people pay him $10 a month, and he's just killing it. But
Yeah.
all he does all day is different stuff. Like, he was like, now I'm at my piano lesson. Now my private chef is cooking me this, and I have these amino acids for this. And then now I'm going to go to jujitsu, and then I'm going to play basketball.
That
And
must
then
be
I'm going to...
so nice.
He
It's
like-
literally just goes from hobby to hobby and just posts it all day. Like, he has one part of his staff, like, Snapchats it all day, another
like-
one's Instagramming for him. And that's literally what he does. And then he has random beautiful women, just like a different...
Oh no, I don't like him. I don't like him. If you're gonna do it, do Dan Bilzerian style. You
Yeah.
gotta just own it full on.
Yeah,
Can't.
It's not, wait, what do you mean? What's the difference between him and then...
I don't know what
Dan
Ty Lopez
Bilzerian-
does, but I feel like Dan Bilzerian just it's a little more on the chin with him. He's like, yeah,
He's
this is
like,
what
yeah,
we're
I'm
doing.
fucking hot chicks. This
Yeah,
is
that's what
I
we're
do.
doing. It's
I'm
not
jacked.
like Ty Lopez. It's almost like he's like, I'm getting good at everything because I want to be impressive, but also I got all these girls around. Dan Bilzerian's like, I'm impressive. Here's money that will impress you. Just
Yeah.
come on my jet.
Yeah.
Well, four-wheelers.
Well, I also
Yeah.
know how
boats
he
and-
got, like, he
Blowing
was like
shit
a
up.
poker person, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how Ty
I think
Lopez
he comes
got to
from
be-
money too, though. I think
Yeah.
he
Oh.
had.
Man, fuck that guy.
He had
man.
well, I think he had money to play with. I think
Okay.
but also I'm from Vegas. If the poker world's weird, like people that are in it, they lose a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
a lot of their own money. Like that's the thing about poker is that's your own money you're losing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird world.
Well,
but
he's in the cannabis industry now.
Ty Lopez.
Bilzerian?
Oh, Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there you
I
go.
think anyone who's smart with their poker money will know they got to
Ty
use it.
Lopez. What is like? Is it affiliate marketing? Do you get? Do you do like SEO? Do you know what affiliate marketing is? Is that what he does or?
I am not really sure what Tyler, but I didn't really investigate too much in it because I was too into like doing all my own shit. But I know that he's like an influencer guy, and you can pay him to like
Yeah, he has.
motivate you or some shit.
I wish I knew
don't
what
know.
it's called though, because when you brought up the YouTube thing, he has this thing called like a, oh God, like it's a. I'll make up a number, like a 60-day challenge where every day you wake up and then you read his little, okay, today I'm going to tell everybody, hey man, you look great today. Like these
Yeah.
weird, like positive things, but then you have to like pay to access the rest of it. And that's what I kept saying, like the $10 a month thing.
Yeah,
And then
it's
all
stupid.
these.
Well, it works, I guess.
I know,
You know what?
It's stupid, but he's rich as fuck, and he's successful, and he's at the life
and
that
he's
I wish I
doing
could
everything that
have.
we're talking about. We wish we were doing now.
It's that's interesting. So he's like motivational then.
Yeah.
I have this weird idea about the motivational people online. There was speaking of my old jujitsu coach, he had this guy who would pay, like, he finally realized he was getting money from this guy every month for like a couple of years, and the guy had been to class like maybe twice, like early on,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like. He hits him up. He's like, I don't want your money anymore. Like, my business is doing fine. I'm literally taking $200 a month from you. And the guy's like, no, like, I'm unhealthy, and that's like my tax. Like, I have to pay I pay the gym membership whether I go or not because I know that it's almost like it's letting out the guilt of being a lazy piece of shit, kind of like I'm
It's
at
just
least
like a donation to
yeah.
healthy.
Well, yeah, almost like I pay for it because I don't pay for it. Like,
Yeah.
you could go work out at a park for free every day, but this guy's like, well, if I'm not gonna it's
That's
this
so
weird,
weird.
it's this mental thing, and that's how I
That's
feel like a
crazy.
lot of those motivational things are. It's like people who are like, I'm gonna buy into the motivational process, but I'm never gonna ever get off my ass and go do it.
Yeah.
And that's probably, I mean, that's I don't know.
Well, isn't that how gyms make their money? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're,
I guess
they're,
you're right.
they're really hoping everybody doesn't show
Yeah,
up
they
every
bank
day, or
on
they're all
people.
gonna be screwed.
When I'm there, I'm hoping they don't. I'm like, less of you be here. Yeah.
Right. So what do you have for lunch?
Pretty much through the day, I just eat like yogurt and nuts.
Okay, so you
Just
don't
graze
meal
on those.
prep or anything. You just
No, I hate
kinda...
cooking.
Do you do a big meal a day or?
Right.
My big meal a day is like I'll eat a bowl of cereal with
Wait, what the hell are you doing to keep this muscle on? There's gotta be something.
no,
'Cause
literally.
you used to be skinny, and so now you clearly
Just
have...
watching Ty Lopez videos.
Yeah, I just
Right.
consume Ty Lopez.
There's 40 grams of protein per Ty Lopez video
One of his
consumed.
steps as he closes your eyes, he's like, just imagine the muscles are there.
This is pretty much my diet
Imagine the gains.
every day through like the work week is that shake that I told you about. I'll have like 3 yogurts throughout the day, and just like graze on trail mix like
What brand
nuts.
of yogurt are you eating? Is it dairy? Is it...
000 Oikos. It's got no sugar. It's
Okay.
15 grams of protein, and then like I have this other one that's Light and Fit or something. It's got fruit in it or some shit, and then like apples. I eat a lot of apples, and then then my quote unquote big meal is a bowl of frosted mini wheats.
There's
with,
no meat in this diet?
Yeah, but I'm not like vegetarian or vegan or anything. It's just
Are you vegetarian?
no.
Okay, so,
Because like on the weekend, I also eat like trash sometimes. Like I love Taco Bell.
okay.
Like that's my biggest fucking. It sucks so bad dating because I keep ending up dating women that are vegans, and then they're just after a while they're like, no, sorry, can't do it.
You
It's
can
like,
take him to Taco Bell.
Yeah, no, I know.
The potato tacos are fire.
No, but it's like they'll be vegan, and then like 3 months down the road, they'll be like, I can't. You're just not vegan. You don't care about the things I care about. And it's like, okay, well, whatever. Like I just started talking to another lady who's vegan, and
lady?
I
Does
A
that
already.
mean
lady.
she's older than
I
you?
heard that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Is she older than you?
No, well, I'm fucking 29. She's like 30. Like she's a
Okay.
lady. You're a lady.
Do you know
wait,
Krystle?
How old are you?
Older-
what should I
older-
have said?
Older than you. I don't know. You could. A
Talking
lady
to
is
a girl?
perfectly fine. Or yeah, talking to someone.
I'm talking to a
Uh,
girl.
A lady-
That's
a la-
a 30-year-old girl.
Lady's cute.
Sorry, I
like
just
it.
spit all over you.
I didn't see it. I missed
Yo,
it.
I say lady all the time. I'll be like, hey, what's
Okay.
up, lady?
Okay.
I don't know.
Lady's cool. I'll use that now sometimes. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's vegan, like super all about it, like constantly wearing like vegan t-shirts. I'm like, I already know how this is gonna end. Like I already get it.
But you're like almost vegan, basically.
Yeah, I
From
could
what you've told
probably-
me, like other than that, swap out that scoop of protein for a plant-based protein, and then like
Well, I
Get
don't,
it?
like I drink milk and sometimes I'll get like eggs. Like that's my shit.
Okay.
Like I go to diners all the time, like eggs, bacon.
When I was the most
that's how I roll, too.
shredded,
Yeah, dude.
it was omelets for breakfast, and it was like some sort of meat with a big ass salad.
Yeah.
And I was lean.
Yeah, dude.
So I totally get it. And all right, well, wow, you're very lucky because it definitely looks like you're one of those guys that has MyFitnessPal,
Oh,
and you're
no.
like, okay, I'm under calorie today.
Yeah, I used to like I had a Fitbit and I used to like care about all that stuff and but now that
Bless you.
I've got this, oh bless you. Thank you. I've got this I got an Apple Watch. My parents got it for me for Christmas or something and I just don't care about it at all anymore. I just go to the gym. I know that I'm working out a lot.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm good. You
Right,
know, like
right.
I'm fine.
Well, good for you. Okay. Well, maybe my next shredded guest will have some macros for you guys.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Just genetically gifted here.
No, it's like I also don't eat that bad during the week.
Well, and it also sounds like you don't eat that much. And
Yeah.
I know that definitely has a lot to do with it because you're literally under caloried, so you're burning.
Yeah, I probably
You
eat
know.
way less than I should.
Right. Well, if you wanted that as your goal, like to
Yeah.
get bigger, obviously. You
Yeah,
could,
yeah,
but no,
yeah.
but you look great, so you don't.
Oh,
I wouldn't be like you're like a. I wouldn't say you're a small dude. You're like you can tell you work out, so it's good.
Thanks.
Yeah, your bit, your bits about like aesthetics like crack me up. That's how I remembered you, and which is great because I
thank
feel like that's also the difference between like comics that I can say that I'm a fan of. It's like they have to have something that I'm like, if I could if I attempt to retell your joke, then that means I was a fan. And
I mean, like
actually
you were like a
cared.
gym person. Like you will do fitness shit, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you
But
used to at least, right?
Well, I
we were
also-
just talking about that.
Oh, absolutely. And but I'm kind of on like the same train where it's like when I was actually, and I'm willing to say this, really hitting it hard when I had a partner who was dragging me, you know, to go as regularly as I was. Now I'm definitely one of those people that are like, well, I guess I haven't technically worked out in a week or so, so maybe I should go for a jog, you know, or well, you know, I walked halfway to work today, so you know, like I guess the walking was my exercise.
I think also
Yeah.
when you're super addicted to health and wellness for a short period of time, you learn all the habits and you learn what's most self-destructive. It's very easy to just be healthy after. It's easy to
Yeah.
it's easy to know what to avoid because you've focused so heavy on what to do, you know.
Well, it's also like they say it's easier to maintain than it is to build. So
Yeah.
like I was super about working out for a while, and then I just got like all of the like the muscle and all that shit. So now it's like easier for me to just kind of like coast through some of the
And once
shit.
your body's done it, like I barely work out now. People are like, you look like you've been working out. I'm like, I just need an excuse to be at the gym to take a
Yeah.
shower. Like, you know, like it's so you know, it comes back. Like, yeah, I feel like when you invest in health and wellness at one point in your life, you can always draw from those benefits. So.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. So where'd you meet the vegan lady at?
My circus place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you tell her about your past experiences and said, hey, you know, usually when I date vegans,
See, we went out like once, and I didn't realize how super vegan.
what restaurant did you guys go to?
We didn't go to a restaurant. We went salsa dancing.
Oh, good date. That's a good date for.
Ah,
Because I was gonna
on
ask
a
you
first
what kind
date?
of.
Juicy.
Well, it was her idea, and I am also not very good at salsa dancing, so it was a little bit embarrassing.
She was
but-
good.
Well, she's Latina, and she's like kind of a.
Yeah, she's good.
She's all professional.
She's like kind of a
off.
celebrity in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she hit on you.
No, I don't.
It was a mutual hit.
What he's saying is she's got an Instagram famous ass. Okay, she's got.
Okay.
He's
So then
confirmed
how did
it.
that So how did that
Sorry, I
happen?
think I just like peeked this.
It's
No,
okay.
you're good.
Well, we were in class for a while together, and like we were always like talking, and like I have thought that we were flirting, and so one day I was just like, "Hey, you want to go out sometime?" She's like, "Yeah, absolutely, let's go out." But she's like super busy. She's also a singer, like musician person, and she's like doing all these TV shows now, and she hosts like some kind of TV show for Mexico. I don't know.
Should have time.
It's kind of like an Entertainment Tonight type of show,
Okay.
like Inside Edition or
Yeah.
whatever.
Cool.
So she's the host of one of those, and she's just always busy. And so I'm kind of like,
So there hasn't been a second date.
not yet, but there's been like plans, and then they always like fall through. So I don't think it's going so well.
She didn't like the dancing.
Maybe, man.
Well, what you can do.
Listen, if you're taking a white guy salsa dancing, you know what you're gonna get.
That's what all of
she
my
knew
friends
what
said,
she
like,
was gonna get.
yeah.
She knew you didn't have hips like that.
I told her that. I was like, dude, this isn't gonna be good. Like I was before
And
we went.
does she know you don't drink? Because
Yeah,
drinking
I
is
don't
what
know.
makes dancing better. Drinking will loosen you up quick. It will give you just like not give a fuck to try.
Dude, I felt so
Yeah.
pathetic. Like before
Did
we
she
went.
drink on the date?
No, I don't know if she really drinks. She kind of does, I guess. I don't know. But like I was like YouTubing like how to salsa dance, like just basic beginner shit, and I was like in my room alone, just
That
like
is so
watching
funny.
shit.
I love it.
It was fucking sad. And then I went and it was still not good. It was like it started out as like a class where it was like we're gonna teach you some basic movements and stuff, and in that I was killing it. And then it transitioned to like this is actual salsa night.
Oh, you
now
guys
we're
took a
gonna
class together.
yeah. And then it was
That's a
like,
cool date.
this is legitimate salsa dancing. And then she was just fucking, whipping
Crushing.
around. And I was like, I can't.
Can you dance just
I can dance
as
if
a white
I
boy
like.
on a stage and like
I mean, he
Yes.
can
On
dance.
on a dance floor?
Yeah.
He can be a foobar go-go. We
No,
talked
yeah, I
about-
have rhythm.
Right.
That's what she kept saying. She was like, you're not bad. You have rhythm. It's just you don't know the
It's
steps.
practice.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, thank you. Don't worry about it. But like, if I have a thing, like right now I'm making an act to a song for trapeze, and like I have movements and like rhythm in my mind about it, and I can do it. But I'm more of like, it needs to be choreographed. Like I can't just go out and like dance,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. So is there going to be a show that you can invite us to soon that like to watch you do trapeze and stuff?
Hopefully soon. Like
Okay.
it was one of my New Year's resolutions to get a circus act going.
Okay.
And we're coming up on the end of the year, so I'm like panicking and like getting all the shit. But I have it written down. I have like time cues and all the shit ready and prepared. So it's like almost like I haven't actually done it yet, but I know I can do all of the moves and I know I can do all of the transitions. So I just need to do it and then do it somewhere where people see.
Well, that's the way you were talking about it. I felt like the school has some sort of recital at the end of.
Well, they usually do, and that's what I was gunning for. Is last year they had like a showcase for the students that they
Right.
wanted, yeah, and I was going to do two because I did two apparatuses at that time. I was doing aerial straps and static trapeze, and I was going to be in both of those performances. But it was the same weekend as this comedy festival that I got into, so I went and I did the comedy festival instead. And then I hurt my shoulder, and then they didn't have any like recitals or showcases in the period between then and now. And so now I'm like hitting up my teachers being like, is there going to be another showcase like in the winter or fall? Because the clock's ticking on this
Yeah.
New Year's resolution. So now I'm just kind of doing it myself where I'm like, I can do it if I could just record it somewhere and then, get like a tape
Put
like
it
for
online.
comedy
Yeah.
and then send it to places that you could perform
Oh,
at.
I see.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
like
Sick.
there's a place in Hollywood that I would love to perform at, and it's called Scott Neary's Booby Trap.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to
Yeah.
that?
Is that at Black Rabbit Rose or was it?
It's
at some
next
po-
to
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah.
It's like in some like kind of warehouse.
Yeah.
Where they have like comedians and jugglers
Yeah, I've
and
seen it
magicians
on
and shit.
Instagram.
It's
Yeah.
dope. But at the end of every show, they have like a circus act, like that's straps or trapeze or silks or rope or something, and that is like if I could perform there, that would be the
Goals.
best.
Sick. Well, good luck. I hope
thank
you
you. I'm
actually get to
trying.
pull that out.
You should
will.
produce a one-off.
Well,
and
that's what my
just-
trapeze teacher was saying.
and
He was like,
and hire someone to film it. Yeah.
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 So I'm gonna work on getting this whole act together and like get it down.
Oh, where do you? Trapeze needs room though, huh?
Yeah, trapeze.
Where
Well,
would you do
static
it?
trapeze is just there. You don't.
Oh,
it's not
okay.
like swinging a bunch of shit.
You know where?
Interesting.
So I don't know, do you know fuck, what's that place? Angel City Brewery. They do comedy shows there. They have a
Yeah.
stage there, but they also have a lot of events. It's a big warehouse. And they'll have events where it's almost like they had one called they do it every year called for Valentine's Day called the Broken Heart Circus. And they have actual circus performers in there, and they have high ceilings, and they have what are the not curtains? What
like
are they?
silks.
Silks, yeah.
Yeah.
They bring all kinds of a line into like a trapeze line in it.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Absinthe in Vegas?
Yeah, dude.
you ever seen
I
it?
fucking love that show.
Dude, it's fantastic.
That show.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that
No.
show? Dude,
It's
it's
fantastic.
like a raunchy
Absinthe.
circus kind of thing.
The host is very
What
raunchy.
casino?
Yeah.
There's a
It's
circus tent
outside Caesars.
outside of Caesars, yeah.
How have I never heard of
And
that?
you know what's really cool
It's
is
great.
a guy I used to work with actually in Vegas when I went. He was actually setting up. So in the middle of the show, they have guys come and set up the trapeze line like during the show. One of my buddies was stagehanding for it, and it's like they literally construct a trapeze like above your head as you're.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
The
that
host
show
is so
amazing.
good.
Yeah, both of them.
Dude,
it's just
yeah.
like they said the most off-color shit, and you're just like you're.
It's a lot of
saying
rational
that?
crowd work, is
Yeah,
what it is.
like I
It's
saw
racial
him like
crowd
just
work.
trashing an Asian
Yeah,
couple.
he's got.
They were like,
it's probably the same jokes I heard too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got
they
got
were going
bits. Yeah.
in.
I'm
It's
so
like,
mad. I've never heard of it.
At one point, he
Absinthe.
he left, and the show like did not do well, and they came back and like, hey.
Yeah.
The company that puts that on, they've done a couple other, they've tried to put on other productions, and it just doesn't go well. But you should look at it's called Spiegelworld, but you should look into it.
Yeah. I mean, I loved Absinthe. They actually did. So, like I was talking, I was doing aerial straps. There's like a famous aerial straps act where you're like, a person's like in a bathtub and they lower you into the tub and then they pull you out and you do tricks and then they lower you into the tub. And it's all like to re-wrap your hands because there are different wraps to get in there.
For different tricks.
And it's also like sexy and sensual and stuff. They did like a parody of that where the guy was like going in and he was still doing like very impressive tricks, but he was like kicking the water on people and like spitting it and shit. And it was so funny. It was funny like in general, but it's even funnier when you know that it's like a specific straps act where you're like, oh, he's just like mocking this.
They do a lot of that where they kind of mock circus performance in that. No, it was fantastic. But yeah.
Highly recommend Absinthe,
Yeah.
everyone.
I do too.
I've seen Humanity.
Not a bad one to see also.
Okay. All right. So we're
More tits than Absinthe, I'll say that.
yeah. I mean, I love the show.
There's tits in Zumanity.
Zumanity is the sensual side to Cirque du Soleil. It's like it's kind of like a voyeuristic kind of Cirque du Soleil show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to see that one.
So this episode drops on November 4th. Do you have anything that you want to plug or that's coming up?
Yeah, I got a bunch of shows in November. They're all over the place. Like I'm almost always at the Amazing Comedy Theater in Huntington Beach, like at those Friday and Saturday shows. I think I have a show November 9th at Mid City something. Mid City Art House. Just follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting about my shows and all the circus shit that I do. It's at Joe Welkie, Welkie. And also my podcast, the Dating is Hard podcast. I didn't, that podcast is like everyone that I interview is someone that I've met off of a dating app. And so I've like created profiles where it's like, hey, I'm looking for people with crazy stories to come on my podcast and talk about them. So it's a bunch of like complete strangers. And I just invite them into my apartment.
Have you ever hooked up with any of them?
Dude, that's always the question.
I feel like that's
always the question. No.
Well, I mean, that energy is for sure there, right? Like,
well, some people, like I had it show like gay people for a while too because I was like, I wanted to get everybody on
like some
there.
Tinder.
It's not just like women.
And those are the ones that
the
hit
gay guys are the one gay
They're,
guy.
like,
He was
putting their
like,
dick in a
so
glass
wait
of
a
water."
second. I ain't getting no dick tonight. And I'm like, no, we're just doing a podcast. And he's like, okay, fine.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Well,
great.
Do you
But-
do it every week?
Yeah, it's every Wednesday. The Dating is Hard podcast. You can follow that Instagram at Dating is Hard Comedy and datingishardcomedy.com. That's where all that shit is. You can subscribe and like and all that good stuff. And,
fuck yeah.
Awesome.
5 stars. Don't worry about it.
Wait, so is it do they that you have to meet those? That's your rule. Like you introduce them.
It's
and you
like
say,
a loose rule.
Okay.
Most of the time it's like I would have you guys on, and
Okay.
but because like you've had experience using
Yeah.
dating apps probably. But I would
Very
say
much.
90% of the people that I have on, it's like people that I've met through dating apps, and we're messaging back and forth on the app about like my podcast, and like the pictures are like, hey, read my profile, because my profile is like, hey, I'm looking for people in a podcast, and it's like a picture of me with my podcast set up.
I'm
and, like,
surprised they haven't kicked you off for that, because isn't that basically like soliciting?
I mean, everybody's soliciting on there anyway.
No, I don't
Okay.
like. I've heard of a lot of people filling like comedy shows with it, just like
Yeah.
hitting chicks up, like, "Hey, I got a comedy show," and like, who knows how many are showing up.
Well, I know a bunch of girls that do that, and a bunch
That's
of
actually-
guys show up. Like, I
That's
think
actually-
Eliza Schlesinger used to do that.
Man, I'm gonna start doing it,
Yeah.
busting out Tinder again.
Maybe I need to do that too.
Yeah, you can
It's
probably
a
get
bringer
lot of
show.
people.
I'm gonna bring her. If she's easy, bring her twice. That's what they say. Okay, sorry. Sorry,
No, don't.
couldn't
Why,
help it.
why are you saying sorry? Well, we told that story. I don't think you were here for that episode. At Amazing Comedy Theater, I was the only person who brought a guest, and it was somebody that I had just met off Bumble.
Oh, I think I was there for that.
Were you?
I think I might have been.
I would remember you. You weren't there. Jay Light was there.
Somebody might have told me
Brandon.
about it, because
Yeah.
I remember that
I posted it on my
happening.
Instagram.
Well,
Yeah,
I think the first time that I ever saw you was at like Petey's place or Karina's show.
No, the first place was at Amazing Comedy Theater. That was the second place I saw you. Who has the amazing memory now, guys?
Stoner.
Me. And I
I guess you're
truly,
just not
and
that
I
memorable.
truly believe. Ow, that hurt my feelings.
Now you have to show her your abs one more time.
No, I truly believe that alcohol is way worse for your memory, anyways, than weed.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't.
probably.
It's like weed, if anything, might be.
Yeah, if you
in the
black
moment.
out, it is.
No way. I mean, even if you just get really drunk, alcohol is so bad for you. Okay, on that note, I'm a stoner alcoholic and very forgetful girl.
Forgettable.
But forgetful? No, you're
Boom.
forgetful. I'm forgettable.
Yes.
Okay. And cool. You have anything you want to plug, Alex?
I got nothing. Oh, I'll tell
Great.
you what. If you're in Vegas,
Okay.
every fucking Monday,
Uh-huh.
I'm in Vegas. I'm co-producing a show out there. It's at a swingers hotel. It's a fun spot. We just started doing the shows in the chapel. I hope that keeps
How have
going.
they been going?
The crowds are light, so come on out, people. Come hang
Okay.
out. Hit
Do
me up
that.
on Instagram. Yeah, that's about it. That's my new project.
All
Dope.
right, good. Thank you so much for coming through. I had
Thanks
a lot
for
of
having
fun.
me,
You're an
guys.
interesting guy here. So yeah, follow, like, subscribe, Comedy Pop Up, Healthy Gossip Podcast. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.